Thank you, Imam Bajwa. I know that you worked hard to get back to New Haven to be with us today, and it means a lot to us. You know, we're about to wrap up with Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, and I don't want to follow her because I want you all to be left hearing her words because I know how powerful they are. So before I invite her to join us for her remarks, I just want to thank you all for being here today, and I just want to indulge in just one moment. I had the opportunity to go to Charleston, South Carolina on a little trip earlier this year. And when I was there, I visited the synagogue and members of the community, and we talked a bit, and we were talking about the tenor of the times that we live in. And they described for me what it was like when there was the horrible shooting in the church in Charleston. And they described for me how the Jewish community rallied with their brothers and sisters in the church in the days after and in the weeks after. And I remember how all of our brothers and sisters in the churches and in the mosques came and stood with us after Pittsburgh. And it brought me great solace to know we are one human family. We are all in this together, and good will always overcome evil. Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro.
Good evening. It is a pretty extraordinary view from up here to see all of you, because I think it was Judy who said at the outset, what everyone here tonight is doing is taking a stand against hate, which is something we can't do for just tonight, but it's something that we need to do every single day that we are allowed to live on this earth, is to take a stand against hate. Judy, thank you so much. And to you, I just say we're in awe of your dedication to our community, to your really commitment to the power of love and of bringing people together, your leadership of the Federation, which continues to be such a beacon of strength. And I'm humbled to be with all of you tonight at Congregation Beth-El Kesser Israel. It's wonderful to be in this community. Mayor, let me commend you for bringing us together today, for your commitment to ensuring that this rising wave of anti-Semitism that we are seeing around the country does not crash or crash here in New Haven. To stand here tonight, to sit here tonight with my colleagues in public life who know why they serve, they know what it's about, and who are here tonight for the very same reason that all of us are, that's important to them, to our law enforcement community, which stands tall and which is ever vigil to make sure that hate and intolerance is dealt with. To the religious community here this evening, we owe you a debt of gratitude. And while those of us in public life are sometimes listened to by those we represent, you are always listened to by the people that you represent. You are the faith leaders in our community. And people believe what you say, take solace from what you say, and they put their lives in your hands. And you make such a difference for all of us. The ADL, as well as the ever-vigilance that you maintain over the intolerance and the hate that is so often demonstrated in our communities. In New Haven, hate has no place. Here we do stand together. You know, and this day began with a solemn remembrance of a youngster who was lost, but the day began in the shadow of New Haven's Holocaust Memorial on the eve of the 75th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz and the United Nations International Holocaust Memorial Day. The Holocaust was the ultimate expression of hate and of the power of ignorance that can overwhelm its opponents. the murder of 1/3 of the global Jewish population. 6 million people. 1.1 million were murdered at Auschwitz. It is beyond comprehension. The memorial is a reminder of the destructive power of hate. And we know, yes, that there are ashes from Auschwitz at the memorial. But this memorial is also a reminder of the unique commitment of this community to speak out, to stand together. It is the first Holocaust memorial on public lands in the United States, which is such great pride to me, and I'm grateful to Marty for mentioning. We were together. We worked for Mayor Frank Logue. Pat was there as well. And who could put aside the indefatigable advocacy of Ed Zielinski and of Doris Zielinski, Faye Shepard, and others of the community? And I was chief of staff to the mayor at that time. And I had the opportunity to work alongside community members to help make this memorial a reality. They came in 1976 with the idea of a memorial in New Haven. And in less than a year, that vision became a reality. What began as just another plot of public land soon became a sacred place of common ground. It was no small feat to take that hopeful idea and transform it into a grand and arresting physical structure, imbued with a sense of a great purpose and action. Its energy came not out of one leader, but from a greater community comprised of people striving toward an extraordinary goal. It is that energy that has maintained the memorial over the years. And it is that spirit that brings us back today to say no to hate. The recent rise of anti-Semitic attacks in America is profoundly disturbing. No one should ever have to fear for their lives in their communities, especially for exercising their religious beliefs. In recent memory, domestic terrorists have attacked Jewish people in New York celebrating Hanukkah, in Jersey City at a kosher grocery store, in Pittsburgh during a morning service. And the ADL has a website that lists incidences by state. And they list the incidents in the state of Connecticut. You can run through the list. In November in Bridgeport, a restaurant bathroom vandalized with threats against Jews. In October in Bridgeport, a synagogue received 2 bomb threats. In September at Hamden High School, anti-Semitic words and swastikas were drawn on stalls in 2 student bathrooms at Hamden High. In June in New Haven, a girl was walking to a synagogue. A driver asked if she was Jewish. She ignored him, and he spat on her. It goes on and on. The Anti-Defamation League recorded more than 1,800 anti-Semitic incidents in the United States in 2018, with a dramatic increase in physical assaults. ADL said assault, harassment, and vandalism remain at near historic levels. The list goes on. These attacks were perpetrated in order to instill fear. And we must not let that stand. I can't stand here tonight without saying, and it is my hope that no one is offended, that we live in a time when at the highest levels of government, we will not decry white nationalism. And we demonize minorities. And we demonize immigrants. It is wrong. And we cannot stand silent. We not only must stand, but we must act, because it is wrong. And today, in the New York Times, the article that says 75 years after the liberation of Auschwitz, a fear that never again is not assured. And I'll just will quote. The backdrop against which this anniversary takes place. Across Europe and the United States, there is concern about resurgence of anti-Semitism, toxic political rhetoric, and attacks directed at groups of peoples using language to dehumanize them that were once considered taboo have become common across the world's democracies. And as the living memory of World War II and the Holocaust fades, the institutions created to guard against a repeat of such bloody conflicts and such barbarism are under increasing strain, with the very notion of the truth and facts under assault in increasingly polarized societies. Control over the historical narrative is yet another battlefield. Indeed, another battlefield. Anti-Semitism in every form must be confronted, condemned, and combated by public servants, community leaders, and the people of good faith. We must have no tolerance for intolerance of any kind, of any faith, of any creed. We are an interfaith community, united together against hate of all forms. We have a moral obligation and a moral responsibility to speak up and to take action. Last weekend, we celebrated Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We made the commitment then. We make it today. We must make it every day, because never forget and never again are not fully assured. It is up to us every day to thunder for tolerance, compassion, and understanding. It is up to us to be the liberators of today. We pledge tonight to take that stand against hate. Thank you for welcoming me to be part of this very solemn day.
Thank you very much. Drive safely.